All those efforts have been thwarted. Dale is in his car, ready for the next step. The command has been given, and the engines have been fired. Now, the next step is Earnhardt just making one lap. If he does, the Cup will be his. He'll win his 5th Winston Cup title and the $1 million bonus. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today, live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, it's the last race of the 1991 Winston Cup season, the Hardees 500. Atlanta Motor Speedway, which is sold out for today's race, is undergoing a tremendous facelift. Already a new high-rise grandstand is in place, seating 21,000 spectators. And above that, some suites where you can watch the race in luxury. Other improvements are planned here in the coming years. We came here 10 years ago for our first live telecast of a Winston Cup race on ESPN, and we are delighted to be back for today's finale. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to Atlanta. Well, the championship is all but decided. Dale Earnhardt, if he completes one lap, will win the Cup and the $1 million bonus. But as we take a look at the point standings, you can see that there's a tremendous battle for second place in the standings between Davey Allison and Ricky Rudd. That, too, and other positions will be decided here this afternoon. One driver who has been disappointed many times during the season isn't even in the top 10 in the point standings. He is 11th coming into today's race. A very emotional time for Bill Elliott, but he'll start on the pole for today's event. With more on that, here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob. After an atypically lackluster season, it seems only appropriate that Bill Elliott would come to his home track here in Atlanta, Georgia, to bring down the curtain on 1991. See, after today, he bids farewell to a sponsor and car owner who stood by him for over a decade. 10 years ago, Harry Melling was convinced that this young, freckle-faced country boy from nearby Dawsonville, Georgia, had the ability and desire to compete in Winston Cup racing, and all he needed was a chance. Today, Bill Elliott realized that this last chance to repay that kindness. And what better way to say goodbye than take them all out a winner? And as emotional as this scene was just moments ago, I've got to believe if the equipment holds together, we may get a chance to see just how awesome Bill can be. Let's go upstairs.
Jerry, the Atlanta Motor Speedway has been good to Bill Elliott over the years, and I think, too, that he will be one of those to beat today because he does have some things that he wants to settle here. But, Vinny, a lot of others have some things to settle, and I think we're in for some good, hard racing since the championship battle is not a factor today.
You know, as much excitement as the Winston Cup Championship provides, it also takes away from the race because the competitors can't get close to the guys going for the championship. How'd you like to be the guy that hits somebody and knocks them out of $1 million? You have to be careful. Today, all odds out the window. These fellas, all they're going to do is run for one thing, to try to win the race, all 40 guys.
And there are a lot of guys out there that needs to win today. Of course, we know that only one of them will get in victory lane. Some drivers will be changing teams. They want to leave the team that they have been with for several years on a good stead, and winning the race would be the best way that they could do that. You know, there was one team in 1991 that everybody expected big things of, maybe even to win the Winston Cup Championship, Mark Martin, but that didn't happen. For more on that, let's go to the pits and John Curtis.
Well, you know, Ned, last year Mark Martin came to Atlanta with a legitimate shot of winning the Winston Cup Championship. And who would have believed that we would come down to the last race here at Atlanta, and Mark is still looking for his first victory. They're changing sponsors for next year, so he wants to go out a winner today. They are going to go all out. Also, Robin Pemberton is leaving as crew chief and going to the 42 car. He says he has mixed emotions somewhat about today's race, but he wants to lead this team with a victory. And Bob Robbins says there are about a dozen cars who are really hauling it out there, so it should be a great race.
It should be great, and Mark Martin is one of 4 drivers who won last year but have not visited victory lane this year. The others are Derek Coe, Brett Bodine, and the defending champion of this event, Morgan Shepherd. Our Speed World coverage of the Hardees 500 from Atlanta Motor Speedway is being brought to you by Hardees, by Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil, and by Chevy Trucks, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. The 40-car starting lineup and the green flag in the Hardees 500, the last race of the Winston Cup season, in just a moment.